Most exercise programs assume a level of knowledge on behalf of the user on things like core engagement, on things around muscular engagement, breathing techniques. On Body Project, we don't. Today's workout is all about teaching people the right way of exercising, of using their body, so that when the personal training phases begin, they're in great position to get the best possible results. Welcome to Body Project pre-personal training phase. This is for everybody, not just for beginners. This is to make sure that when you do move into the personal training phases, when you work through the cardio phases, that you're ready to do it the right way and not get injured. Are we ready to go, guys? So we're going to start with a nice light warm-up, and we're just going to lift our knees up. In every workout that we do in Body Project, there's going to be a warm-up. There's a number of reasons we do it, and it's very important you don't skip the warm-up. You've got to get the blood pumping through the body, the blood pumping to the muscles, and so as that intensity rises up, what we'll find happens is that the muscles are prepared not only to work harder, but they won't injure. They won't stretch, overstretch. Okay, let's get turning now into that. So now we're going to work a little bit of the upper body as well as the lower body. Get it all warm. Just getting the body prepared for the work to come. Today's workout isn't super exciting. It's not full of energy. To get it right. That's what it's all about. Let's get it right. Let's do it the right way when we work in Body Project. Okay, good. Let's get running on the spot now. Nice and light. The abs tight. We'll go over what that means in a second. We're just getting that heart rate up, getting the lungs working, everything pumping on, pumping the arms, working it through, nice deep breaths. As I said, never skip the warm-up. Very, very important. Keep running, guys. I'm going to introduce you to your Body Project team. Susie's going to be doing the moderated versions with you today. She's going to show you how to work out if you're not quite ready to push yourselves. Alexandra, well, Alex is going to be demonstrating the more advanced options. Keep your eye on both of them. The key today is technique. Let's just do a few light star jumps now. Warming up through the shoulders, warming up through the side glutes, the side of the legs, and once again, the core muscles. Breathing deep, warming up. You should start feeling a little better. Let's move that now into a little press. Star jump and press. Very nice. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just give it a little shake out, everybody. Just warm up through the hip and the groin. Imagine you've got to step down and you lift your leg over that step. Keeping balanced through the planted foot. You might even feel a little isometric tension in there. That's fine. Nothing to worry about. 4, 3, 2, 1. Step on the other side, lifting over. Getting through that groin, getting through the hip, feeling nice and warm. 4, 3, 2, 1. And another little run on the spot. Breathing deep. You will need with you today your 2 kilograms or less dumbbells, maybe more if you feel ready for it. You'll need some water and you will need a towel. If we're ready, guys, let's get started. Okay, so we just keep our body moving, just keep moving as I'm going to explain some things through. Remember, today is not about running around and working really hard. It's about setting the foundations for your progress over the next 10 weeks and for the rest of your life. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk to you about engaging your core muscles. Everybody always says it. Everybody always says, don't they? Engage your core, engage your abs. What do we mean by that? Well, let's stand shoulder width apart. Shoulders back and down. And what I want you to do first is breathe in, breathe out, and suck your belly button in towards your spine. So from your belly button here, imagine there's a piece of string and it is pulling, drawing the belly button in towards the spine, and we engage through the transverse abdominis, through the core muscles, so through some of the core muscles there. So that's the first thing I want you to practice, is just breathing in, breathe out, and draw that belly button in towards your spine. That's number one. Number two, at the same time, I want you to squeeze your glutes, not with your hands, with your mind. Squeeze your glute muscles. So you breathe in, you breathe out, and at the same time as drawing the belly button in towards the spine, you squeeze your glute muscles. So what you'll feel is this whole area through the center starts tightening up. Number three, we're then going to imagine that there's a piece of string between the rib cage and the hip bone. You breathe in, and as you breathe out, you imagine that we're drawing down between the rib cage and the hip bone, and the whole area across, around the center starts to feel engaged. You feel that, Susie? So it starts tightening up. And the last thing we do is we engage the pelvic floor. So them three things together, the pelvic floor. The only way I can explain this, unfortunately, is imagine that you've started going for a wee and you have to stop the flow. That's going to engage the pelvic floor. So can we try that, guys? So we breathe in, breathe out, and try and get all of them things together. Let's just take 5 breaths and get that right. So breathe in, breathe out, and you should feel a real tightening through the center of your body, through the core muscles. It is so important throughout Body Project. I will be saying to you, engage your core. And when I say that, this is what I want you to do. I want you to tighten up that center. Remember the 4 points. Breathe in, the belly button sucks in towards the spine. We squeeze the glute muscles. The rib cage draws down towards the hip bone, and we engage the pelvic floor by stopping the flow of feeling like going to the toilet. I think that's the only way I can explain it. Them 4 things, and you'll have an engaged core. All right, so now we've done that, just get a little run on the spot again, because we may have cooled down a touch, and we're gonna move into squats. So grab onto your weights. You can do it without them, that's absolutely fine. We want to have your feet shoulder width apart. That's the first thing. Your shoulders are back and down. We're going to bring the weights up to the side, but we can be at the side of the body as well. That's not a problem at all. Okay. Find a position in front of your eyes. Focus on it. We're going to squat down and breathe in on the way down and breathe out on the way up. Keep that going and listen to my cues. Go as deep as you are capable of. The first thing you need to know about a squat is this knee. It has to track directly over the toe, but no further than the front of the toes. We've got a perfect knee tracking there. You push the weight through the heel as you work through a squat. Very important. Breathing. You breathe in on the way down. We bring the energy in. You breathe out on the way up, and you push the energy up. The whole time, Alex's shoulders are staying back. She's got an even pace. She's squeezing through the muscles and she's working up. Her core is engaged, as we discussed before. If you've not exercised for a while, it's the first time you exercise, it's okay to reduce the range of movement, the range of motion. That's not a problem at all. As long as you keep everything else the same, we've got a straight back, the eye line stays, the shoulders are back and down through the movement. This stuff is not super exciting, and it's not meant to be. When Body Project starts, it stops for no one. We push you and push you. I don't stop and explain everything 5 times. Get it right now, and you'll work through to the end of phase 5 at the fittest you've ever been in your life. Okay, so we're going to move now onto the lunge. So let's get that same position. Every time you do any exercise, you benefit from having the shoulders back and down and engaged core. Remember the cue points. Feet shoulder width apart, looking straight ahead. We're going to start on our right leg in 3, 2, 1. Let's lunge out. And I'm going to move around, and I'm going to talk about how the lunge works. Let's stay on the right leg for now, guys. You go as long as you can. If you look at Alex here, once again, so important, the knee is tracking directly over the toe. The shoulders are back and down the whole time. Alex's eyes are staying on the point in front. Very important. This, though, is where most people get the lunge wrong. And that is, they push the weight through the back leg. But here, change leg, guys. Change legs so you get a little rest here. The weight is pushed through the front leg and off the heel. This, the leg at the front, is the leg that's working. We're working the hamstrings and glutes predominantly on a front lunge. Once again, you can reduce the range of movement like Susie, as long as you've got the tracking correct, as long as your core is tight, as long as you're looking straight ahead, as long as your shoulders are back and down. Let's alternate them now. Right leg, left leg. Same principle. The front leg, the right leg is working. The left leg is working. The right leg is working. The left leg is working. You will feel a stretch through the back leg. So you're gonna, as you come forward here through the hip flexor, you'll probably feel a little stretch there if you're not particularly flexible. That's okay. You get your lunges right like this, and your advancement, your progression will continue throughout Body Project. Okay, so pop your weights down. That's what we're all gonna do on legs for now. We're gonna move back to them in a little while. We're now gonna work on pushing movements. So guys, if we get into a push-up position, so we're gonna come down onto our hands. Very important, and there's lots of different hand positions for push-ups, but if we just say that we're slightly wider than shoulder width apart, we bring our feet back and lift off, unless we're doing the moderated version with Susie, and then the knees are down on the floor. The closer into your body the knees are, the easier the push-up becomes. So we make sure here we've got a very straight back. Let me just come over to Alex here. So if I was to put a pole down from the tip of Alex's head down through her tailbone, that pole would absolutely balance. Perfect position there, perfect position, Susie. Okay guys, let's push up. So you breathe in and breathe out. Remember, you breathe in to bring the energy into the body, and then you exhale to use that energy. Are you engaging your core the way that we explained? Are you engaging them stomach muscles through your body? The whole way through these movements, Alex, if you want to take a little breather there, drop onto your knees, your shoulders should be back and down, so we're not allowing ourselves to curve over. I'm going to show you something over here. As you push through a push-up movement, it's important that you're imagining that you're pushing in as opposed to straight down. So we engage the chest instead of just the deltoids and the arms. So we push and imagine that you've got a point in the center and your hands are squeezing to that point. That's how you do a push-up. That's how you engage your chest. If you keep doing that, once again, your progression with Body Project will be total and it will be consistent. Everybody ready? Let's jump up and let's work on shoulders. Okay, so let's now look at the shoulders. So this is the second type of pressing movement that we'll be working on through Body Project. And so this is a vertical push. If you imagine the push-up is a horizontal push, this is a vertical push. This is a push that goes straight up into the air. So let's just do a standard shoulder press with our palms facing inwards. First thing, feet shoulder width apart, soft knees, core engage, belly button drawn in, squeeze the glutes, rib cage to hip bone, holding that wee. Okay, so 3, 2, 1, and we're gonna drive up and twist the weight. So you breathe in on the way down and breathe out on the way up. So when we're doing a movement with the shoulders, it's very important that we focus our mind on the deltoids. These are the muscles that are working. So just relax your arms a little and focus on squeezing the muscles that are at the side of your arms. These are your shoulders, these are your deltoids. If we give a little twist as we push up, we work more than one head of the shoulder. But this exercise is important for me to show you today because this is a perfect opportunity for you to engage your core. Simon, can you just come around here for a second for me? If Susie were to let go of her core engagement, what would happen is, and Susie, just switch your core off, is you'd start curving here. And over time, you'd start putting the strain through your lower back. And that's a big no-no. So switch on again there, Susie, and you can see that she just tilts under. And this is essential when we're doing a standard movement or a standing movement like the shoulder press. Breathing, core engagement, relax the arms, squeeze the shoulders. Your shoulder press will be perfect. And as always, you can develop that as you work through the phases of your body project. Okay guys, so keep the weights in your hands. We're gonna look at some back or some pulling movements. So if you just grab onto your weights. So we're gonna bend over at the hips. Okay, now what's really important here as we bend over through the hips is that we keep straight. Once again, through the back. You can see there's a straight line down there. The core is completely tight. Alex has picked a point on the floor and she's focusing on it. She's not going to move her eyes from there. She's keeping her shoulders back, and then she's going to draw them weights up. Again, breathe out as you exert and breathe in. Simon, can you come over here for a second for me? So come right round. So what we can see is happening, breathe in, breathe out, is that Alex is squeezing the shoulder blades back. And imagine if my fingers were in between your shoulder blades on your spine, would you be closing in on my fingers? If you would be closing in on my fingers there, then and only then are you engaging through the back muscles. It's so important. When you're holding a position like this, it's another perfect opportunity to engage your core. Susie, switch your core off for me. Okay, so now you can see once again, the strain is through her lower back. And I can assure you, if Susie did this for more than a few seconds, please switch your core back on. It's going to result in a repetitive strain injury because there's so much strain through the lower back that it's not designed to handle. Okay, guys, shake that out and rest. If you engage your muscles, your back muscles like that, as always, you will make more progress than if you just focus on getting the exercises done. Do them the right way and you'll be exercising and improving your body for years to come. Okay, so now let's take a look at a combination compound exercise, and that's where we work across more than one muscle group at a time. So if we combine a squat with a shoulder press, that would be a combination compound exercise. And we do a lot of these type of exercises throughout Body Project. So feet shoulder width apart and hands up. We're gonna breathe in, squat down, breathe out and squat and press at the same time. Now, when we're doing a combination like this, we obviously have to keep our focus on the fact that we're doing a squat. We have to keep our focus on engaging the quads, engaging the hamstrings, the glutes, pushing through the heels, everything about a normal squat. And we have to make sure that we're focused on engaging through the shoulders. So we're working through and getting a nice straight line through that press. But perhaps most crucially of all, when we're doing a combination compound exercise, is our abs have to be engaged. Our core has to be tight and strong. Because there's so many muscles working and our body has to feed blood to each muscle to keep it working, to keep it active, it works our cardiovascular system too. We do an awful lot of this type of exercise within Body Project. And this type of exercise is tough, it's efficient, it burns more calories, it works multiple muscle groups, but it's challenging. Rest it there, guys. That's a combination compound exercise, and we'll be doing plenty of them throughout Body Project. All right, so now we've looked at how we engage the muscles through some of the resistance training. Let's have a look at how we work through intensity when we're doing interval or cardio training. So let's get running on the spot. just getting our body warmed up a little bit again. I know there's a little bit of stop-start here today. So we need to, first of all, as we're doing cardio, the most important thing is you keep that core switched on still. You remember to keep breathing. So just running on the spot there, are you feeling your abs working? Because if you're not, you need to switch them off. Because if you're not feeling them, you may be putting that strain through your lower back, which is a big no-no. So let's now look at intensity. Susie, I want you to work at 60% effort for me. So let's just work at 60% effort. If you're feeling 60% effort, and I want you to do that at home as well, you could sustain this. This is sustainable for a long period of time. This is not interval speed. When we do short interval bursts, we need to go at least at 70%. Let's see 70%. So now you can see Susie's starting to work. She's working at 7 out of 10. She's shortening in her breath. She's starting to feel her body's heating up. That's 70%. But where I really want you, and you have to be comfortable to go there, is 80%. Let's go, Susie. Susie would unlikely be able to maintain this for more than 60 to 90 seconds, maybe a little bit more if she gets fitter, but right now she may stay there for around 90 seconds. That's 80%. Drop back to 60%. If you're a little bit fitter, when I ask for a 30 to 60 second interval, I want you to work at 90% effort. Alex, show me 90%, let's go. Alex could only maintain this, and Alex is very fit, for 45 to 60 seconds. She's working very hard. She's pushing our heart rate up very high. Ultimately, this is how hard you want to be working when you're doing interval training. If you can maintain that, your heart rate will go higher, your metabolism will go stronger, you'll burn more calories, and you will get fitter faster. Okay, so let's do that same drill on another exercise. Punches. Everyone into position. We can start with our left foot forwards, 60%. Let's go. Let's try and test out how much you're working through. 60% Susie, 60% Alex. Guys at home, 60% intensity. Feel it, measure it. This is sustainable. You could keep this going. You're not in discomfort yet. 70%. Let's go. We want 70% intensity now. So we're picking it up. We're feeling we're working a little bit harder. This is not indefinitely sustainable. This is hard work, but you're not out of your comfort zone just yet. 80%, let's go. So let's pick it up a little bit more now. 80% is tough. Now we're working hard. Now we're driving through. Now we're starting to find our limits. 90%, guys, let's go. This is a true interval. You may not be there yet, but you will get there. If you want to meet your potential, this is where you take it on our interval training in Body Project. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ease. And breathe. Take a few seconds, and we're going to look at some floor cardio work before we move on to our very first Body Project circuit. Okay, so the last cardio exercise we're going to look at before we put the whole thing together is a running start. So if we come down onto our hands, abs nice and tight, feet back, we've got the core strong, and you know how to do that now. And we're going to draw the knee in towards the center. Now what's important here, as always, Alex is picking that speed up a little bit, is the shoulders stay back and down. And whilst the core is working hard, this is still essentially a cardio exercise. So the faster you go, and speed that up, Alex, the more cardio this exercise is. Slow it right down, slow it right down. The more slow and controlled you are, the more of a muscular engagement exercise this is. So Susie's going quite slow at the moment. Pick that up a little bit for me, Susie. That's more cardio. That's more working through the heart and lungs. Both are good, but when we're doing intervals, it is quite important that you look to engage in a way that works your cardiovascular system a little more than your resistance system. And that means speed without compromising form. So let's put this entire thing together in a Body Project circuit. This is the first one you're going to do. So grab onto your weights. And we're going to work through. It's 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off. We're going to start with a squat, feet shoulder width apart, in 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Let's get squatting. So remember, the core is engaged. You're breathing in on the way down, you're breathing out on the way up. You're working through the heels, the knees are tracking over the toes. You are squeezing through the hamstrings, the quads, and the glutes. It's very important that you engage the muscles the whole way through the movement. You don't just go from A to B, you squeeze the muscles, you feel them, you work through. We've got 10 seconds left before we have a 15-second break of these squats in 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep your weights in your hand, keep moving. We've got 15 seconds to recover and get ready for our shoulder press. Get into position, shoulders back and down, hands up, abs engaged, in 2, 1, and push. So now we're working through the shoulders. Our core is tight and engaged. Where are you feeling it? You should be feeling this in your shoulders. You should be feeling it in your core muscles. You should have the muscles under tension the entire time through. That's how resistance training works. It's called time under tension. You keep that muscle working for as long, in this case, for 45 seconds. Stay focused, eyes stay ahead. Keep the muscles under control. Keep the weight under control. Stay with it. 3, 2, 1. You've got 15 seconds off. Let's grab on. You keep the weights. We're going to do bent over rows. Come into position. Remember, a nice straight back. Hands by your side in 3, 2, 1, and row. Remember, we're squeezing the shoulder blades up and back. Feeling it through the back muscles. Just a little tension through the legs. The abs are engaged so we don't put any strain on through the lower back. So important we get this right now. When Body Project Phase 1 starts, we stop for nobody. We go, we go, we go. Stay under control now. Get used to the format. Get used to this resistance training. Are you feeling it in your back? Are you feeling it in your core? Because that's what you need to be doing in 4, 3, 2, 1. Weights down to the side. We've got cardio interval number 1. In 10 seconds, we're going to do running on the spot. I want 70% effort. 3, 2, 1, let's go. So 45 seconds. 70% of your max, maybe even 75. 3/4 of what you could give. You're keeping a little bit back. You're not giving it everything that you've got just yet. How you going, Susie? Good work. In 25 seconds left, I want you to pick this up a little bit. Let's work 80%. Let's go. And you can see she's pushing a little bit harder. This is getting tough now. This is a true interval. Work it through, Alex. We've got 10 more seconds. We're working on. We're working on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. 15 seconds recovery time. And now it gets real. We go straight from a resistance exercise, the squat, into the run. 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off. Weights ready. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. And now it begins. This is your first real Body Project circuit. Feel it in the legs, the glutes, the hamstrings. How's your breathing? Are you breathing in on the way down? Are you breathing out on the way up? Are you feeling it in your core muscles? Are you feeling this through the glutes? How intense is it? Are you squeezing through the muscles, or are you just moving from A to B? Because if you're just moving from A to B, you're selling yourself short. Squeeze the muscles that are working. Feel the muscles that are working. That's how it's done the right way. In 3, 2, 1. Weights down, guys. 15 seconds, 80%. Let's go. Come on, let's get fast. Let's get fast. 80%. Work it through. This is a typical interval speed. We're almost there. 3, 2, 1. And grab onto your weights. We are in this now. And push, let's go. And push. Feeling it through the shoulders. Working it on. Stay focused. Stay with this. If you're gonna move on to Body Project Phase 1, you've got to get it right. Because you can do this workout as many times as you want. When it starts, it starts. I don't go over every single exercise with a fine-tooth comb. These are the fundamentals. You get these right and you'll stay safe, you'll stay strong, and you'll keep making progress. In 5 seconds, we're gonna do punches. 2, 1, weights down guys, and punch, let's go. 80%, work it through. You should be in control, you should be with us. This is how it's done. This is how we do Body Project. This is how you work. This is just the start, just the beginning. 3, 2, 1, and bent over rows. Grab onto your weight, straight into position guys. Let's go. Straight back, squeezing it through, feeling it. Your heart rate is working. You're feeling that you're shortening in breath because it's intense. We're going from one to the next, from one to the next. This is the ultimate way to train your body. How you feeling, Alex? Squeezing through them shoulder blades. 15 seconds more. We're gonna finish with some run starts. And I want them to be fast. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Weights down, come down. Let's go, guys. And speed. Remember, speed over engagement here. Although we never switch the abs off, the speed is crucial. This is a cardio. This is 3, and 2, and 1. And ease, good, breathing nice and deep, good job guys. Okay, so breathing deep, recovering. In a second, Alex is gonna take you through a little stretch. She's gonna talk to you about how to stretch your body correctly. For now, we're just gonna reach over. We're just cooling our body down. Just slowly, bringing the heart rate down. Very important that you measure the heart rate down. Today's workout was not about pushing you to your limits. It was about teaching you to do things the right way, to train the correct way. Let's get running on the spot, guys. And just stay there for me for a second, just to slow it down gradually. Before you move on to phase 1, make sure you know how to engage your muscles correctly. Make sure you know how to engage your core correctly. Make sure you're comfortable with the principles of intensity that we work on through the interval training, and make sure that you are ready to push your body. When phase 1 starts, we stop for nobody. We push and we push and we make you the healthiest version of you that you will ever be. But you've got to be ready for it, and that's what today's all about. Alex, stretch them out. Let's go.
Thank you, Daniel. That was really, really helpful. Lots of information. So let's just cool our bodies down and stretch through these muscles that have been working pretty hard today. So let's just take a nice deep breath and just elongate the arms and just come up onto the toes. Good. And then come down. So this is a lovely stretch just to stretch through the core. The whole torso gets a nice long pull, and the hands feel nice and long through the arms. Stretch the fingertips to the ceiling and then come down. And we'll stretch out through the sides. So let's take that arm up and just lean over, and you can stretch through the inner thigh just by widening the legs a little bit, and you can stretch that inner thigh out. So if you just turn the toe out, you get a little bit more there too. It's often a muscle that gets missed, these inner thighs, and it's so important that they get stretched, because if they tighten up, everything starts to really seize up too. Hamstrings, hip flexors. Let's change. Make sure you take a nice deep breath and inhale, and then exhale as you fold into that stretch, so that you give that muscle a nice bit of oxygen to use. Keep the blood flow oxygenated. That's good. And then come back and walk the feet in. We're going to work at stretching out the quad muscles, so just bring that leg up. So you're holding on to the front of the foot and the heel comes to the back here, just up to your glute. So all major muscles have to be stretched. Hamstrings, quads, calves, inner thighs, back, tricep, chest. We've worked a lot today. And the other side. That's good. The most important thing is to keep these muscles hydrated, so lots of fresh, clean water sipped throughout the day really does help these muscles recover quite quickly. And let's take that foot forward and stretch out through the hamstring. So flex the toe up towards you, place the hands on the supporting leg, and again, still activating that core, just ease the body down and feel that stretch all the way through the back of the leg, and you're going to feel the tip of the lower back just lifting up a little bit, so you get a touch more through the back of the hamstring. If your leg begins to shake, just release it and then just fold yourself back into that stretch again. And then when you're ready, just changing sides. It's always the best part. Best part of a workout is the stretch. And then let's take that foot behind and stretch out through the calf muscle. So you're going to place the foot down behind you and press the heel down into the floor. Now I like to combine these stretches, so let's take the arms forward and pull the shoulder blades apart so we get a nice stretch through the back. Yeah, I really want you to feel like the scapula is separating, and it's a nice release through the neck there as well. And then as we do the other side, let's take the hands behind, so push that heel down, make sure the weight's over the front leg, and just open up the chest. So you're going to squeeze the scapula together, so you can see how I'm opening up the chest there. So when we do our press-ups or any plank, we work a lot of the chest and we work a lot of the triceps. So let's just do a tricep stretch here by bringing the legs back to center, bring the arms up, and just taking that elbow down. You can see my hand just comes into the center of my scapula there, and we're going to ease that arm, pushing a little bit down and over so we get the stretch through the back of the arm. Good. And then the other way. Lovely. Good. We're going to turn and face this way, and we're going to come into your hip flexor, another important stretch. So just lengthen that back leg away from you, again making sure the knee is tracking over the ankle, and just come into a hip flexor stretch. So just bending down. Now you'll be able to feel this. It's a little ligament here that's connecting those muscles to the hip bone. It's very important you stretch this. So if you can just come to here, that's absolutely fine. If you can drop the knee down towards the floor for a little bit deeper, that's great too. And even more by placing the hands on the floor and just lifting that back leg. So there's 3 variations here, you choose. Good, and let's change over to the other side. Remember, you're swiveling those feet round. Ease into it, make sure it's nice and controlled, all the way down. Good, hands come down if you want to. Good, drop that foot. Everyone has different amounts of flexibility through their muscles, so let's not get too competitive about this. It's important that we just do this safely and effectively. Good, bring yourself back to center, shake out the arms and the legs, just a little tilt of the head and just stretch out through the neck. So just drop the shoulder down, just bring the other ear down towards the shoulder. It's always nice to release that neck. And then the other side. Lovely, good, shake it out. Well done guys, excellent work today.